Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Nerdcast on the Angry Marks Podcast Network with your host, Will Huckaby and Mika Villas.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week. It's time for the Wrestling Nerdcast. As usual, I'm your host, the World Wrestling Grand Prix champion, the National Syndicate Wrestling Unified Georgia Heavyweight Champion, the Disrespectful Intellectual, the Southern Gentleman, the Mid-Atlantic Bully, the Incredible Huck, Will Huckaby, welcoming you to a post-WrestleCade show. As usual, this show is brought to you on the AngryMarks Podcast Network. Be sure to check us out on iTunes. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe. Let us know what you think about the show, who you would like to have as guests, etc., etc. Huge shout out to our sponsors, ND Customs. Check them out on Facebook. Check them out on Twitter at ND Customs. Huge shout out to our friends over there at Pro Wrestling World and our sponsors at Behavior Driven. As usual, I am joined by my co-host. As usual, I'm joined by my co-host. She is one half of the world's cutest commentary team. She is the lover of waffles, the voice of the speech impediment, the receiver of all things unsolicited. She is Miss Hashtag What That Mouth Do, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people found out this past weekend. This is Bobby Taco. She is Chicago Win, the one, the only Mika Villas. What, girl? What?
I am so upset with you. First and foremost, I had a quite lovely and proper weekend in North Carolina for WrestleCade. Thank you very much. There was lots of fellowshipping and exchanging of ideas among scholars. And
really?
Yeah.
Well, as usual, like we said, ladies and gentlemen, this past weekend, the biggest wrestling/fan convention on the East Coast, WrestleCade, once again happened in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. 3 days of wrestling and fan conventions and just fellowship with your wrestler, legends, indie darlings, up-and-comers, like you name it, and everybody was there. Everybody from Marty Jannetty, the Hurricane, Al, let's see, Jim Ross was there. I mean,
And the King.
And the King, Jerry Lawler. I'm not going to mention him. You know, I have an issue with him. Just everybody that was anybody was there. Former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Jack Stane, Crimson, Animal from the legendary Road Warriors. New Japan star and Bullet Club member Chase Owens, Jason Kincaid. Jesus Christ, the list goes on and on and on. Ultimo Dragon made an appearance. Anyway,
Psychosis, Nick Aldis, his insurance policy, Jillian Hall, Scarlett Bordeaux. Yeah, I mean, my gosh, Moose.
How was your WrestleCade?
I said I had a very proper time. It was very lovely. We had tea and crumpets the entire weekend.
That's code word. That's the new code word. We're no longer using that Himalayan water blessed by Tibetan monks.
Tea and crumpets. My WrestleCade was wonderful. It was beautiful. It was crazy. Just the drive up to Winston-Salem from Atlanta. I did go live. So if you check out the social media, you'll see that crazy ride along with.
There was a controversy. There's a controversy about a jacket going on social media right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Any insight about this jacket, Mika?
So let me give the story so people who don't know. First of all, I rode up with Shinblade, who is out of the Baltimore area. He is a podcaster, media personality, and Ruthless Lala was with us as well. We were talking to Ruthless Lala, who you are way familiar with, who is a wrestler out of Texas. So the three of us went up to Winston-Salem together, and we kind of hung out and, did some interviewing and some talking and some what have you. So you and Ruthless, along with the GWC title holder Joe Black, and now the hierarchy, there's some stuff going down with you guys, and there's a jacket. Listen, all I know is I don't know where she got the jacket from, because my jacket I left at home. It was cold in Winston-Salem, so I have a heavier coat because all this loveliness that I have freezes easy, and I need it to make sure that I kept warm. So this jacket, I was like, okay, in the car, whatever, but it wasn't my jacket. It was a Adrian Armour jacket. People were clowning the jacket. People thought it was an Under Armour jacket. And she said, yep, because this ain't shit. I was like, whoa, okay, because, I'm familiar with the product. Pardon my French, y'all, for the cursing. But, yeah, so now there's this big, huge thing about Adrian and Lala going online. And I'm Switzerland, y'all. I have no clue that a piece of clothing could be such a fire starter. I'm like, really?
It was a great source of entertainment for me. I'm not even going to lie. I'm enjoying the roasting going on, and the one creative meme made by the Georgia Wrestling Crown champion Joe Black. As much as
Who knew he was creative? I mean, I knew he was scary as hell, but I didn't know he was creative. So
had the sense of humor.
Twisted sense of humor. But again, I'm scared of him, so I'm not saying it anything other than with the utmost respect due to that man and his station in life, and the fact that he could kill me with a look. So yeah, that.
So, were there any matches that stood out to you at WrestleCade?
I'll be 100% honest. Everything at WrestleCade was good. The first night was the showcase of champions. Champions from all over came to defend their title there at WrestleCade. And Harlow O'Hara went one-on-one with a legendary woman in this business, Lufisto. It was supposed to be Harlow versus Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace, unfortunately, for reasons unbeknownst to anybody, but they're just saying, could not be there, which is okay, cool, because Lufisto is a not even a suitable replacement. Lufisto would have been my personal first choice to see, because she is amazing, and thanks to Jordan not being there, we got to see her. And wait, was that bad?
No,
Okay.
no, it was kind of catty, kind of a little catty.
No, I'm.
Uh-oh. Oh, Mika's gone. Oh, I'm just saying, Mika, if you could hear this. Mika was
kicked me off the internet.
Oh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
All right. Am I back? No.
It's saying, you're back. Yeah, you're back.
It's saying okay. Jordan Grace kicked me off the internet. That's my story. I'm gonna roll with. Okay. No. Okay. So I know Jordan Grace is a talented woman. I've seen her before. So I've seen her stuff. I love the fact that she's on Impact now. I'm a little perturbed at the promos that they did for her, because they get a shot of her chest area, and it looks like wherever they were shooting was cold. That's all I'm going to say. Do not go back and look at the promos, you pervs. Just know that I noticed it was a little nipply in there. So anyway, Lufisto is a legend. Lufisto is one of these women who I personally interview or talk to her, which I was able to a few minutes. It was just great. So Jordan will get that legendary status as her career goes on, but Lufisto was great.
I've always wondered why Lufisto never made it to WWE. I've always wondered.
I can't say for sure. She's clearly just so very talented. It is the WWE's loss. Clearly WWE's loss. But anyway, Harlow Lufisto stood out to me because this was the first night. I'm not saying that the boys dialed it in or anything to that effect, but I'm saying that there were back fists and an apron bump that was so sick. My jaw cracked and my head hurt. I was sober and away from them. It was great.
Well, let me ask you a question, because I heard that a friend of mine from up north, Darius Carter, the Free Combination Wrestling champion, was there in the building. What did you think about him? Because I love the guy myself.
Darius Carter is I like him. I like his character. His character does not stop. I believe that Darius Carter is Darius Carter 24/7, 365, and twice on Sundays.
I've never seen him without a scarf.
Go watch. He was full cutting promos as people were inebriated, because I was not. I'm a good girl. And he cut a promo on the bartender at this place called Barcade, which is like a video game arcade. He cut a promo on the damn bartender because of the drink that he was given. Like, I ordered him a drink. I told him what to get. I told him to get. He wanted something not like heavy alcohol or heavy like tasting alcohol, like hardcore whiskey or whatever, but something that was a little potent. I said a Midori sour. They come in probably like the 8-ounce glasses or just the small 6-ounce. I don't know, whatever. Bartender gave it to him. He drank. He was like, "Oh my God," trying to give me the diet. Like, it was. I sat there and I was just like, "Oh my God, really? This guy's cutting a promo on the bartender," and made the bartender give him the drink with more ice. Like, the bartender's like, I'll fix it. I'm so sorry. The bartender's apologizing for doing his damn job. It was crazy. I was like,
He's
it was
he
bad. It was
he's
good.
such an amazing guy.
It was good, but it was bad. But in his ring work is damn solid. My first time seeing him in person and really paying attention. I like him. Crowd tried to give him some hell, call him Urkel, but he more Stefan Urkel than anything, and I'm cool with that.
Dude's super classy, man. Super classy. Now,
Stefan Urkel.
now Saturday, I heard. Well, actually, Friday night, I heard that there was a Wolfpack party. Of course, the NWO Wolfpack, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and stuff was there. And I heard that that their pictures were going for $100 a pop. But then I heard that they had an after hours Wolfpack party. And they were charging people. Correct me if I'm wrong? They were charging people $125. Mika,
I didn't hear you. They were doing what?
They were charging people $125 to come party with them in their suite or something like that.
Well, see, the party that they advertised was indeed a Wolfpack party. They cleared out the bar at the host hotel, which is the Marriott, for this party, and I believe they were only selling 25 tickets to this event. I could be wrong on the number of tickets that they were selling, but I know they did not sell out this event. So while the party was scheduled to start at 10:30 and end at ? It did end pretty early. I believe that your rumor that you heard could possibly be true, that while the party was ended officially, the boys, you don't hold back on the Wolfpack. They might want to still keep going. As a matter of fact, I can say with some surety that they did keep partying, and that there were some inebriated persons with some hangovers the next day at the signing. Whether they charged people to party with them or not, I don't know. I mean, I like Big Sexy. I was going to climb that tree, but I decided that I didn't want to get in the way of that man making his money. So I kept my distance because, hey, you don't turn your back on the Wolfpack. So I had to keep front and center.
Boo. Saturday, of course, the Fan Fest, and then the big show Saturday night. The big thing coming out of that is that the new AML are out of the weekend, I guess, because the main event was a world heavyweight title match, correct?
Yes, the main event was a ladder match for the AML championship. This huge, nice-looking belt. I mean, really big, and that's leading into Sunday, which was AML The Aftermath, where there was the longest battle royal in history, because everybody and their mother entered this battle royal. People who had been on the show earlier competing were in the battle royal. People who we hadn't seen were in this AML battle royal. People who worked at the convention center, I swear I saw the lady who cleaned my room. She was in the battle royal. It was a very long battle royal, but the winner got an opportunity to have a shot at the AML title at any time that they wanted. The eventual winner of that battle royal was Mr. Number One, George South. Won that battle royal, and later that evening, he cashed in his opportunity. George South manages the Dawson brothers. The Dawson brothers came to the ring, and the AML champion at the time was Caleb Conley out of North Carolina, of TNA Impact fame as well. And Caleb Conley got beat down by the Dawsons with some shenanigans and what have you, picked up the scraps and beat Caleb Conley for the AML title.
Now, let me ask you a question, Mika, before we get into our next subject. Am I the only one that's tired of seeing these WWE Money in the Bank knockoff stipulations? It's about time that we as independent wrestlers become more creative.
What are you going to do? I mean, what are you going to do, brother? So here's the deal with this. This is what I thought was a little bit interesting for me. I was waiting on something else to happen because Billy Brash is a champion in AML as well. I want to say he's a prestige title holder.
Yeah, prestige champion, yes.
And the prestige champion also has the chance to cash that title in for an opportunity at the AML title. So I expected, when I saw George South come out, for him to, especially after the Dawson's attack, perhaps pick up the win, but Billy Brash come and beat George South and become the AML champion. I full on expected that to happen because I didn't think that George South was going to walk out of that building with that title. And
Joke's on you.
totally jokes on me. But
Well,
I liked and I hated the fact that they had two opportunities in the building at the same time for the same title. I liked it because, in essence, what my theory is that Billy Brash could have cashed in, could have worked. But again, you as a champion should be ready to defend all the time. And you know what? You got to watch your back. You got to do what you got to do to
like I said,
continue.
I just get tired of these Money in the Bank knockoff stipulations and stuff. It's so overused, and everybody tries to use a different name for it or whatever, but it's still Money in the Bank.
The very good part is, again, there was no cheesy briefcase or, domino set in a nice steel case or whatever. I mean, it just was said. So there was nothing so blatantly ripping off the WWE where it said Money in the Bank or Contract in the Bank or something like that. Or fan purposes, it's okay because you need to have somebody be the number one contender or have somebody who can sneak in and win the title. When you see them, you're like, ooh, what are they going to do right now? So you have to have that spark of excitement, and that's what it brings, where anything could happen. Where I thought I knew what was going to happen with my smart fan self, with my being a commentator, with me watching 850 years of wrestling. I was like, oh, this is going to happen. I didn't even pay attention really. I was like, yeah, Billy Brash should be out here. Oh, crap, I see Billy Brash standing way over there, chilling out by the door, ready to, help tear down a ring. Shoot, okay. So
Guess he's not.
right.
Now let's because you kind of alluded to it and stuff. George South.
I gave you a lead in, sir. George
Yes.
South. I thought George South was gonna walk. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Somebody was gonna walk out the building with the AML title.
Yeah. Somebody did walk out with the AML title, but it definitely wasn't the AML champion or the owners of AML. It was some serious person, whether it's a wrestler, whether it's a fan, whether it's somebody that worked at the convention center, whether it's just misplaced and maybe it's in the back of the AML production truck. We don't know. Yeah. Okay. I don't. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry about. I don't know. Our connection's so bad right now. It's just. I'm gonna blame it on Mika. Anyway. Yeah, blame it on you, Mika. I would like to think that the AML title is wrapped up in the ring canvas, just sitting in the back of the truck. But ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, it's been all over social media for the last 24 to 48 hours. The actual AML heavyweight champion, their custom made title, handmade, hand painted, handcrafted. It's an original title, is missing. There are so many different incentives and rewards and stuff for the return, for the safe return, or any information leading to the return of this title. I think that there's if you're actually the person, can you hear me, Mika? Everybody can hear me, right? I'll just sit here. If you have information leading to the return of it, even if you're the one that stole it, you can just mail. They're asking just mail it back and no harm, no foul. If you have any information leading to the return or knowing of where the AML heavyweight title is, there's a cash reward. I think Brutal Bob Evans of ROH fame is giving away free seminars for life if you help to return it. Devin Driscoll from what's the name of that company in Tennessee? Bandit Wrestling in Tennessee. They are offering bookings. He's offering free training and a lifetime supply of bookings at Bandit Wrestling. Lou Freeman, there's a lot of other people giving away, cash rewards and trying to help you get booked wherever you want to. It's just all kinds of things going on. So if you know what the damn title is, just give it back. Mika, this is like, there's been a rash of titles and thievery going on right now in professional wrestling. Do you think there's a black market of title collectors going on?
I don't know if there's a black market of title collectors going on or people just not wanting to part with these belts.
Hold on. What does that mean? People, when you say people, do you mean wrestlers not wanting to drop the title?
No, I don't. Hold on. Let me fix what I'm gonna say because I am nobody from nowhere and I don't want to get any I don't want to get any heat for this. What I'm saying is, like you, for instance, you've got several titles, and they become a party. You're walking around with these things, and like sometimes you're just like, oh man, I miss my baby or whatever. And you could give it to somebody to hold. I don't know what happened to this belt. I don't know what happened to this title.
Are you,
I don't know if there is a black market for titles. I think at this point, like Twitter, Facebook, all social media is out there talking about this, and whoever has it, if it's lost, like I work in an industry where people lose shit all the time and they think somebody took it. That may not necessarily be the case. You left it someplace, somebody else picked it up, or you didn't leave it where you thought you left it. I mean, shit happens, and the unfortunate part is, like, I haven't heard the other missing titles that you're talking about, but this one, of course, being associated with WrestleCade, with AML, the fact that this title is not just a replica or one that's been in existence for 850 years where there's tons of the copies of it around. This is a $3,000 title belt. Like, this is someone's hard-earned money. A company has spent the money and created something
well,
that's
and you're
missing. That is not somebody's personal property, but it belongs to an entity. There are laws against it. That's a felony actually for this belt if you get caught in possession of this belt, because at this point it's stolen.
now, let me ask you a question, Mika, because I have my own opinion about this. Do you think that the person that if this belt has been stolen and taken by somebody that shouldn't have it, do you think that person should just get away scot-free?
Absolutely. Okay, so here's the deal. It's not really for me to make that judgment call, but here's my personal opinion. If this is my title belt, if I am AML, if I am Tracy and Brian, I want my title back, and that's it. Just give me my title, and you know what? I'm gonna say, like, if it's you took it, you say, you know what, here, I'm sorry. Okay, cool. Got my title back. Thank you for, fessing up or bringing it back. We can't do business anymore. That's it. I'm not trying to send you to jail. I don't want anybody to whip your ass, because people are so up in arms about this that, they're ready to fight. And I understand that because they feel like it's stolen from them. I just want my stuff back. I don't even have to take.
I think the problem is, I think that the biggest problem is the fact that, as a wrestler, we have our gear bags in the back. You go out to wrestle, your stuff is just laying there unattended.
You have a code.
Yeah, nobody likes a locker room thief. And of course, guys have had their payouts stolen. They've had gear stolen, entrance gear stolen. But I've had entrance gear stolen by fans. And it's never cool when something that you paid for and you've bought or whatever has been taken. I don't want anybody like that around me. I think that whoever stole it, I think they should be charged. I think that they should be publicly outed. And I think that they should be banned from all wrestling events forever. That type of stuff, to me, stealing is just as bad as being a kitty diddler. And you just don't need that type of stuff in professional wrestling. Like, nobody needs a thief around them. But when you have, 10 to 20 guys or maybe more in a locker room, and you assume that when you put your stuff down, it's going to be where you put it. And when you come back and it's missing, nobody wants to be able to. There should be a certain amount of trust in the locker room that I'm not going to touch your stuff. You're not going to touch my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Especially without asking. And when it comes to something like this, a title belt, and like you said, this belongs to the company. They are a very well-known and very respected company, not only in the Southeast, but on the East Coast. They've spent, of course, this is not no BS replica WWE title that they just slapped some stickers on. This is a custom-made, one-of-a-kind belt that looks nothing like anything else out there. I think that whoever took the belt knows that they have it. They knew what they were doing. This was a purposely done thing.
See, I understand what you're saying, that, you don't like locker room thieves, that they should be outed and what have you. But that attitude there is not going to get that title back anytime soon.
Somebody out there knows who has that.
But what I'm saying is, let me flip this. Let's say I know that you took your Huck. We're friends or whatever, family or whatever, and I know that if you give this belt back, that's the end of you, whether it be professionally and personally and a whole lot of other ease, but you're going to pay for it out of your ass, pretty much. That's not going to give me the incentive to snitch on you, to have you give it back. So I understand what you're saying about not having that person in your locker rooms or whatever. But at this point, if I can get that belt back and be like, listen, here's the deal. Give me the belt back. I'm not going to out you to everybody. Just know that in the future, let's say it was a worker, a wrestler. In the future, we won't be able to do business. But, you know, I'm not going to tell everybody, so then you lose money coming in or whatever, because I have my property back, and that was my agreement. Free and clear.
You
That's the belt, or hold on. If you know somebody who has the belt, or you have the belt and you happen to be listening to this, they want it back free and clear. No questions asked. This is a felony. A felony. If you've been to jail before or you want to go to jail, this is a perfect opportunity. But my suggestion is to just give the belt back, mail it back. Hell, call me up, hit me, slide in my DMs, whatever. I will come get the damn thing from you and give it to them. And hey, free and clear.
If you know who has it, whatever, message me, because I wasn't even really at.
No. I'm just saying, free and clear. I don't know who has. Listen, I don't know who has it, but if I did know the person who had it, I would be speaking to them and be like, listen, give me the title, let us go, whatever. And again, free and clear is free and clear.
Of course, there's rumors going around and stuff, and I just want to pop this one rumor out there to you because I thought it was kind of funny. Before we switch the subject, I want to pop this rumor out there to you that there was a bounty, because there's always robberies in professional wrestling and stuff between companies. That there may have been a bounty on this title, and that somebody paid somebody to take it and bring it to them.
What? Okay, that's the first I'm hearing about that. That's crazy.
It was something I was talking to a couple of people. I'm not gonna mention who, but it was like, hey, wouldn't it be weird if there was a bounty on this belt, and they were just like, hey, if you bring me their belt, I'll pay you.
When did people become like fucking Lara Croft Tomb Raider? Like, let me go into the Temple of Doom, a locker room. Wait, this thing. Let's put it like this. WrestleK is filled with wrestlers, wrestlers working the show, people coming to network, people a ton all together. Who is ballsy enough to go into this locker room filled with wrestlers and take this Temple of Doom style? Did somebody Mission Impossible from the ceiling and shit?
Here's the thing, because you have, of course, obviously you're not a wrestler, so you're not in the locker room. But I've been at WrestleK, I've been in the locker room several times. There are so many wrestlers running around backstage, and nobody's really paying attention. So if you can just grab a belt, pick it up really quickly, throw it in your gear bag, throw a towel on top of it, close your bag up, and walk out. And it's just that simple. Because nobody's really paying attention like that. And especially at WrestleK, where there's so many different wrestlers, there's so many different titles, there's so much stuff going on, especially on the last day, Saturday and Sunday, there's so much stuff going on. And people are just tired. There's been a lot of wrestling. They're trying to, finish the show, clean up, break everything down, get on the road, get home. Like, people are not paying attention like that. So it's very simple to just, and of course, and I've been guilty of before, you have your title and you just put it on top of your bag, or you just put it on top of your chair, wherever you're sitting at, and you go talk to your opponent that you was talking to, you go try to find a promoter to get paid, whatever the case may be, and then you come back and you repack your bag and stuff and leave. So, a lot of times, and once again, that goes back to the whole trust issue. Just understand that, hey, I'm putting the title right here, I'm gonna come back and it'll be right here. This is just unfortunately one of those times where it didn't happen. So, but moral of the story is, if you have the title, if you know who has the title, give it back. You quit being right. Just stop it. Now on to the next subject, because once again it's AWE week.
Yes, finally.
You've already mentioned it beforehand. Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, Jonesboro, Georgia, Furnace 40, returning back to Furnace 41. Some matches have already been announced. The aforementioned Ruthless Lala from Texas will be facing the Hierarchies, Adrian Armour. Zeta Zane wants a piece of Aria Blake. Sue Young versus Murder One. Joe Black versus Caleb Conley. We've already heard an announcement that AWE is, these are the last couple of shows of Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. What are your thoughts coming up for this next show? This show coming up this Thursday.
Let's clear that up. These will be, as we get to show of the year, will be the last of Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. That doesn't mean that the company is closing. The company is rebranding and changing the name. So just for the people out there going, holy crap, they're closing down, shutting the doors. Nope, we're not shutting the doors. We're going to literally kick the doors off the hinges and come out with something different.
Definitely. But what are your thoughts about the show? Just the 4 matches that have been announced right now. Let's go with the first one: Ruthless Lala versus Adrian Armour. Who you got your money on?
As a commentator, I'm completely and totally unbiased, so I cannot pick a winner or a loser. I think it's going to be a hard-hitting match. I think, one, because Lala has something to prove against the hierarchy, and you guys have been very unwelcoming to her as she's come making her way across Atlanta from Texas. And I think that Adrian also has to make sure he keeps his face, so to speak, as a member of the hierarchy. The hierarchy does not tolerate losers. They will excommunicate you just like they've done several times to several people, the latest being Slade Porter. So I say that Adrian has to win this one, but Lala has to win it as well. So
you think that if Adrian loses to Ruthless Lala, he's getting the boot from the hierarchy?
I'm saying that it is a distinct possibility that Uno will not be happy, and if Uno's not happy, bad stuff happens.
I am going to say that there is a 99.9% chance that Ruthless Lala does not win. The hierarchy, as much as I do not like them, they have a history of making sure that they get the outcomes that they want to happen.
They may underestimate her, then that will be their mistake. I really think that they are taking this for a joke, and that will be their downfall come Thursday night. So we'll see.
All right, next one. Zeta Zane versus Aria Blake. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Excuse me. Zeta Zane versus Aria Blake. Zeta Zane has already, cut the promo, challenging Aria Blake. Do you think Aria Blake is going to accept the challenge? And if so, do you think she has anything? Do you think she's going to go over on the Mae Young Classic contestant?
I've tried in vain to warn people about the hierarchy. As you just said, they have a way of getting the outcomes that they want. Blacklist Uno, formerly known as Murder One, is the supreme leader of Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment right now. He is in charge. He is the man making the rules. The hierarchy is usually the people breaking the rules.
First of all, and this is going to be a Roar match, and in Roar there's no goddamn rules. So
let me finish. I'm giving backstory here. Shh, quiet on the set. That's okay. Uno appointed Aria special guest ref in the last match she was in, which featured Zeta and Lala. Aria, what you want to do in a Roar match? Aria inserted herself in this, and she has a bone to pick with Zeta, meaning that this is a Roar match where there are no rules, where Aria's hierarchy, where anything can happen. Zeta is determined by Aria's hierarchy, and she has been hierarchy for a long time, which means she's going to twist this to her advantage, and if she can't, her boys can. Trouble.
All right, next match that has been announced is, once again, hierarchy member Joe Black versus Caleb Conley.
Do you see
just all the I know.
Which means full contingent of hierarchy in the house. They're going to be there. They're telling you they're playing, y'all.
But Joe Black versus Caleb Conley. He just defeated Tyson Dean. He's defeated Simon Gotch. He's defeated the War King, Eddie Kingston. Of course, he beat the former hierarchy member Chip Day. Joe Black is on a roll. And with the postponed Lucky Seven, there's really, besides after Caleb Conley, there's really no challenges for Joe Black.
None that we know about, because Joe has a list of competitors who he wishes to face, and Caleb Conley is on that list of competitors. Caleb Conley, I just saw him at AML at WrestleCade.
Here's the question before you say anything else. Like, this is the match that I'm really worrying about, because Caleb Conley is a student. murder of Blacklist Unos. He was trained by Blacklist Uno before making his way up to Carolina. So there's a lot of like hierarchy woven backstory. So it's like, hey, is Blacklist Uno in the hierarchy? Are they going to support, the sword of the hierarchy, Joe Black, or is it, Blacklist Uno going to ride with his trainee and his student, Caleb Conley?
Caleb Conley has been in Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment before. He has not been a member. He got his start from the Supreme Leader, Blacklist Uno. He is not part of this squad, meaning that if you are not with them, you are against them. Perhaps Uno will offer Caleb some kind of olive branch as to, don't get your ass beat too bad, or don't. I don't know. I don't know. But you and I both know Joe Black. Joe Black has no hold back. His speed is go, fight, kill. And if Caleb does not bring his A game, go, fight, kill. He will walk out of Atlanta barely by his own power.
And then, of course, the last match, the president, I guess these aforementioned and self-titled, self-proclaimed supreme leader of Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment and the leader of the hierarchy, Blacklist Uno versus Su Yung. This is the match that I'm waiting to see.
This match is a long time coming. It has taken us a long time to get to this point. Uno has a lot of sins to pay for, and the undead Bloody Bride wants to make him pay. The caveat here is Uno now has in his camp Su Young's former groom, one Sugar Dunkerton. And the reason that this all kind of went down started around the time of the Red Wedding that did not happen between Su Yung and Sugar Dunkerton. Su Yung was actually part of the hierarchy for a moment, and she turned her back on them because of Suge. Now Suge is with the hierarchy. What does this all mean? It means that Sue's going to be pissed and maybe confused. A confused, pissed, undead Bloody Bride? I don't know. I don't want to be the supreme leader right now come Thursday because Su Yung is going to do things.
Well, like I said, and then of course, once again, I have no idea. The last postponed show, which was the Lucky Seven, was supposed to be me versus Calvin Tankman. The little young whippersnapper, kind of issued a challenge. I accepted it because, I'm the Mid-Atlantic bully. I'm gonna tell you like this: if he's in the house, that's going to be the match of the night because it's not going to be a wrestling match. It's going to be a fight. So I'm hoping Calvin Tankman will be in the building on Thursday, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? If not, then I'll just have to take my frustrations out on somebody else.
Remind me to steer clear of you Thursday.
Yeah. It's going to be I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be in rare form Thursday.
Remind me to steer clear of you starting Wednesday into Friday just to be sure that I skip Thursday.
That hurts. That hurts my feelings, Mika. Jesus, man.
I don't want to get... Did you see Arya Blake come after me last show? I'm not trying to get hurt, so I'm going to keep myself clean and unbiased and do everything I need to do to stay safe from you people.
I've heard you on commentary. You're never unbiased, Mika.
That's not true. I am unbiased completely and totally.
I've never heard you be unbiased on commentary. You're so unbiased.
I'm unbiased. Exactly. I'm so unbiased. I do not pick a side.
You're so biased. You know what I meant, girl.
Nah,
you always.
Not anymore. I like my life.
I've seen you raise those two fingers up.
Not anymore. I like my life.
I'm about to say, let me see you put those two fingers up. I'm going to break them. So what else has been going on? Because, of course, I was supposed to be in Canada last weekend. A bunch of things happened. Long story short, the promoter booked me for the wrong date, booked the wrong flight info, booked the wrong hotel info. Just all the things were wrong. And then he tried to, like most people do, he tried to throw somebody else under the bus. But, of course, ladies and gentlemen, screenshots are a Mickey Ficky. Remember that whatever you send out to somebody, once you put some on the internet, it cannot be deleted or erased. It's there forever. And the truth actually came out, So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make my debut in Canada this past weekend. But, it will happen eventually. I'm not worried about it. Eventually, I'll make my way to the Great White North.
So, man, Canada didn't want you. That's what I just heard, right? They were like, hell no, you can't come in here. That's all I heard.
My feelings are so hurt, Mika.
I believe it. I'm sorry, because I wanted you to bring me back real maple syrup and Tim Hortons. So,
I don't know what Tim Horton is, but okay.
you're fired.
What is Tim Horton?
We'll talk. We'll talk.
Alcohol?
No.
Well,
Co-
is it a person?
No, just don't. It's a coffee and they have donuts.
Oh, I thought you was a Starbucks girl.
Listen, I'm a foodie. Okay, thanks.
We can tell, Miss Chicken Wings.
Shut up.
So, what else has been going on in professional wrestling this week since last we talked, Mika? Anything else that you would like to talk about?
Oh my gosh, WWE's doing this whole, Nia Becky thing, which
I'm loving it.
Nia Jax is real as my weave.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's not believable. It's just
She's the face breaker. I love that gimmick.
I'm just over her. I'm just over it. I want Becky to punch her out of the business if that's at all possible. Let's just get that done.
I almost punched her out of the business, but I'm loving the whole man gimmick with Becky Lynch being the man. Her Twitter is just so hilarious. It's so entertaining right now. Same thing with Nia Jax. I think that this is probably one of the best, if not the best, storyline going on in WWE right now. By a quote unquote air quotes accidental punch to the face. This has turned into one of the best storylines in Twitter, in WWE. I'm sorry, and on Twitter, the wrestling Twitter has gone crazy. People on both sides of the fence. I'm just enjoying myself.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. It is enjoyable, but I want to see Becky Lynch with some real competition, and Nia Jax is not real competition.
Oh Lord Jesus. Why so much hate on Nia Jax?
No, I'm not hating. I'm just telling the truth as I see it. In my opinion, she's not really a wrestler. She is a WWE product. Becky comes from the independents. She has been in Shimmer. The girl has worked her way around the world. So I would rather her she's getting the shine that she deserves and the proper, I guess, respect, so to speak. But I want to see her go and be out there in real programs and not this Nia thing. This Nia thing is just, it's irritating for me. Everybody else can love it or whatever and love Nia. I don't have anything against Nia as a person, but as a wrestler, she leaves a lot to be desired.
Well, of course, I didn't watch Raw. I heard that Raw was not that good this past week. But New Japan is right now in the middle of the World Tag League. 13 teams. It's like 13 shows in 17 days. Like, to be a New Japan wrestler, you've got to be a marathon guy. Like, Jesus, like the amount of tolls that all those bumps and all those shows takes in your body is crazy. It's just so many things going on. You got the GOD, Tamatonga and Tongaloa. You have Jeff Cobb is teaming up with Michael Elgin, which turns out they're actually a really good team. Tachi and Zack Sabre Jr. is a really good team. They've been throwing it out. The Young Lions, which is something I really wish that we had that kind of training here in America, the whole Young Lions system, because these kids come, and even as Young Lions, they already have a ready-made gimmick as Young Lions. When they do these shows and stuff, the crowd is already, they know they're not going to win or whatever, but it's just the fact of seeing these kids develop as wrestlers, see them grow up through the system, see them become eventual New Japan stars. Like, it's just really enjoyable to watch the Young Lions, and the Young Lions they have in the World Tag League and stuff, man, and actually on these shows are doing some amazing work right now. You need to be watching them.
I do have it all DVR'd. I just have to get to it. WrestleK weekend was long. The weekend leading up to that was long. And, somebody wants me to try to help them move on Saturday, which I'm not going to do. So, my time is short.
Oh, Lord. Quit watching so much WWE.
Honestly, I haven't watched this past Raw. SmackDown is right now as we record. I'm not watching that. So, I've got some other stuff to do, but we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, anything else going on, Mika? If not, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up right now. What you got going on besides AWE this weekend? What you got going on?
This weekend, this Thursday, AWE, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, Jonesboro, Georgia. We are doing a show, 6:05. Come on out and see some of the best wrestling in the Southeast. The following weekend is pretty stacked full of wrestling. On the 7th, there is Action Wrestling in Tyrone, Georgia. On the 8th, there is Fest down in Florida, in Gainesville. And on the 9th, I'm sorry, that's on the 9th. I believe on the 8th, AWE's running again. I don't know. I can't remember. There's a lot of wrestling everywhere that next weekend. So I will be putting some miles in probably next weekend. This weekend I might chill out a little bit, stay close to home, and maybe catch up on some wrestling that I missed.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Well, as usual, like I said, like we said before, this Thursday, I'm sorry, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, Jonesboro, Georgia, Furnace 41. Come check it out. It's going to be crazy. We've already talked about the matches that have been announced. Joe Black versus Caleb Conley, Murder One versus Sue Young, Ruthless Lala versus Adrian Armour, Zeta Zane versus Arya Blake, possibly, not very sure. I don't know. Next
we'll find
weekend,
out.
Yeah, we'll find out. This weekend, like I said, this is my last week in North Carolina. Saturday, I will become a resident of the great state of Georgia, which means I'll be closer to Mika. Yay!
Help me, Lord.
What? Don't be like that, Mika. Don't be like that.
I'm trying. Let me hide my titles.
No, I'm not letting you have your titles.
I said let me hide them.
Let you hide. Oh, let you hide your titles. Oh, that was cold, homie. Are you trying to insinuate something?
Not at all, sir. Not at all. No heat.
Yeah. Definitely sounds like there's some heat going on, buddy.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Somebody needs to check the office, where Mika Villas is. Somebody needs to check that office. Make sure Mika doesn't have that AML title.
Thankfully, what Mika was wearing, everybody could see what I was carrying around. It was just my natural sparkling wit and dazzling personality. That's it.
And that weave. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's been this week's edition of the Wrestling Nerdcast, the WrestleCade rewind or recap, whatever you want to call it. As usual, I'd like to say thank you to our network, the AngryMarks Podcast Network. Check them out on the
Angry Marks Podcast Network, along with our sponsors, Indie Customs, Behavior Driven. Thank you for listening. This has been another edition of the Wrestling Nerdcast. William Huckaby, who has died this evening. I am Mika Villas. For our producers, CW. Thank you guys. Have a great night.